Hello and welcome to Modern Ministries. Thank you for watching. And today we're going to continue our series about Are They the One? Exploring relationships and looking for a relationship and figuring out whether or not those people are the ones that we should continue our life with and consider marriage with. Today we're going to talk about the dynamic between the man and woman in a relationship and explore what God has set in front of us for what a relationship is supposed to be and what a marriage is supposed to be between two people. And to start us off, we're going to revisit Ephesians and just revisit the verse that we're really surrounding this series about that really defines what a relationship is supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. So in Ephesians 4, 2 and 3, it says, "Be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." So with that bond of peace, we look at the coming together of the wife and husband and becoming one flesh in the earliest stages of the Bible, which is Genesis, where the creation of the world and the stars is happening, creation of man is also happening. And then the creation of woman comes from man, and they are to come together in marriage to become one flesh. And the Bible truly doesn't hesitate to explain this covenant of marriage at all. In Ephesians 5:21 through 33, and yes, I'm going to read the whole thing, but the whole thing will also be on the screen. It says, "Submit to one another of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourself to your own husband, as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. So now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loves the church, and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleanse her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own body. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church, for we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother to be united with his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." Submission is always something that people will find a snag on, and they always feel like, hey, I have to put myself under someone else, or I have to lower myself to be under them. That's not necessarily what it's talking about. Submission is really a respect. So it's a mutual respect between the wife and the husband, and it's called on both parties to really be submissive to the other. And that submission really starts with the submission to Christ. And that will translate back into your relationship, just like a lot of other things. Submission to Christ will allow you to respect and dignify your partner. Love for Christ will allow you to love your partner better. Your obedience will translate into respect and discipline in your relationship. As far as roles for man and woman, man is put as the spiritual head of the house and the protector to solidify a secure and safe place for the home. Whereas woman is put as the supporter and the partner, more than capable of doing what man can do, but commanded to be the partner and the supporter of man. And being that supporter of man doesn't mean that you are less successful or you are less intelligent or you are less capable of man, because a lot of women are more capable than a lot of men in this world. But it simply just defines the roles as the man being that spiritual head of the house and the woman supporting that role for the man. And then we roll into the love that Ephesians talks about, where we choose to love our wife or we choose to love our husband. And we get so caught up in this feeling of love that we lose sight of the decision that it really is to love someone through the good and the bad, through the sickness and health, and all the other vows that you say or will say on your wedding day. So choosing love instead of the argument because your partner didn't take out the trash. Choosing love instead of the fight because dinner's not made when you get home. And the Bible really breaks it down in 1 Corinthians, but it's pretty much telling us that everything that God shows to us is what we should show to our partners. So we should show mercy, we should show grace, we should show forgiveness, we should show protection, we should show consistency. All these things we should be showing to our partner instead of being resentful or petty or whatever it is. We should show kindness in those moments. We are called to do everything in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. So why are we not encompassing that with our relationship, with our spouse? And I think a really important step in finding that love or deciding that love in someone else is trusting that person with your love. And that should not be what someone else does proves your love. It's a choice that you make to trust someone else. I know that although it's so important to have trust for your partner, I know how hard it can be to trust someone, especially if you've been hurt, like a lot of people have been hurt in this world, whether it was in a relationship or in a friendship or even by the world or your family, whoever it was. If you were hurt before, it makes it harder for you to trust someone, especially blindly. On the other side of that obstacle that is trusting your partner, you'll find a lot of sympathy and you'll find a lot of compassion for your situation. And although there might not always be understanding, there'll be a willingness to listen and consider your side rather than only consider their own, because they know that you are willing to share that you are going through whatever it is. So I encourage you, whether it's in your friendships or a relationship, to begin to trust those people and begin to open up and let them know what's going on, because that won't only deepen your friendship or relationship, also deepen your relationship with God and allow you to trust Him deeper to meet your needs. Because it's hard to blindly trust God with your needs, but once you start to trust the things around you and you begin to build up that trust with God, you'll trust that He's going to meet your need, whether that's financial, whether that's in your health. You'll be able to trust that when I pray, when I talk to you, you will provide that for me. Humility and respect, in my opinion, are one of the most important parts of a relationship, because you have to give that partner a sense of dignity and respect, that you see them as a person and they are not under you but a partner with you. So that will unlock a more effective communication. You guys will consider each other's opinions more in conversations when you are making big decisions. Your journey with Christ will become more of two people heading in the same direction rather than two people on their own journeys but joined together. And I know I've received a lot of wisdom from people who are in successful relationships or successful marriages. And one of the first things they talk about is communication, having an effective and healthy communication. Because it's inevitable that you're going to butt heads with your partner and you're not going to agree on everything. And I feel like that only becomes more true the more that you explore your relationship with your partner. But in those moments of disagreement or in those moments of butting heads, or when someone makes a problem that you will argue or fight about, having healthy and honest and respectful communication with that person often resolves that issue. I've heard from a lot of people that the argument isn't going on because of what happened. The argument isn't persisting because of what you did. It's persisting because how you're communicating. Especially since we are called to kind of air out and put everything into the light of the Lord when we're talking about things that we deal with on a personal level or issues we're running into. We're supposed to put that into the light of the Lord. So just being honest about those things with our partner shouldn't intimidate us. And a lot of people are like, it's just more comfortable, or it's hard for me to communicate those things because I've never had to do that. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. It's like repping something for a workout. The more you do it, the stronger you get. And the more you live in the dark, the easier it is for the devil to manipulate the stuff that's going on in not only your mind, but in your partner's mind. So the more that you put into the light, the closer that you guys will become and the closer your journey will become. And you'll truly begin to move as one instead of moving as two people that call themselves, hey, we're together. And with the better communication, everything else will follow. It'll become easier to submit to that other person and show them respect. It'll be easier to trust that person. It'll be easier to choose love for that person instead of choosing the argument. And with that, I will leave you with the final scripture of the day, which is 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, which says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love is not delighted in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. And with all that brings me to a close. I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the Super Bowl if that's what you're watching. Clearly, my team won't be winning it, but I'm hoping the Bengals do. Support the channel for more. I encourage you to watch the other videos that we've posted on this channel. Check out the website where we sell our merch. Please share the video if you can. Don't let your development stop at the end of this video. You are loved. You are purposeful. Subscribe for more. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next one.